Man, guys, I'm one track into the new Isaiah Falls project, and it is super fire. What I love about Isaiah Falls is that I can learn so much about music theory and R&B. This is authentic R&B, and it doesn't sound like it's going in 1,000 directions so far. I'm not that deep in the album yet, but the first song taught me something already, and I want to share it with you guys. So the first thing we're going to do is map out what's called the scale, and I'll play along with the song so you guys can learn too. So here are all the notes in the scale. Okay, so basically to create your chord, we're going to create a ninth chord here. This is a very big jazz-like chord, but it sounds like nice and lush without sounding too jazzy. That's what I love about Isaiah Falls. He figured out how to get this lush sound without sounding too jazz-like, and in my opinion, so far. So I'm loving the project. And we're going to start here at D flat or C sharp. I'm going to call it D flat for now. And we're going to skip up every other note in the scale until we create a ninth chord. This is called a chord extension. So here are the notes if you guys just want to copy the screen there. So this is our first chord, and what I'm learning is that Isaiah Falls can make two chords sound amazing. And this is a cool thing because when you really get into music theory, you can start creating pivot chords, and I'll get into it. But here's the first chord. The next chord here is a B major ninth chord. So we're pivoting around these two chords, and it gives a really lush sound. Let me make sure I'm turning up the volume for you guys so you can hear 100% of the volume here. It sounds a little quiet on my end, but maybe that's just the nature of this so far. I'll turn it up just a little bit. All right, so here we have those two chords. All right, and then we finish off on that B major ninth. Now we can insert chords in here. So we can insert, the fifth, for example, of D flat. So we can go to A flat and then start building a chord. Now, the way I'm moving faster through this, let me crank this back to where it was. I feel like I'm screaming now. The way I think about chords in this case, instead of like trying to memorize everything, I like to simplify these big chords, because when you get into bigger chords and new keys, like we're studying right now, you're going to think you have to memorize like note positions, especially if you play on the piano. And we'll get into the music in a second. So what I'm saying is, okay, so we have the root note, the root chord. We have our second chord that we're going to pivot around, and then we need to find the fifth to then return back to the tonic. So the fifth is 7 notes up from the root note. So this is our root note. Let's count up 7 notes. Or we can count down 5 notes, same thing. I'm just going to give you the answer here. This is the altered chord that I'm going to use. Now, the way I'm thinking about this chord is not like, hey, I need to play a dominant ninth. That's not what my brain comprehends unless I need to map out the chord from scratch, which is what I did first. The way I'm thinking about this chord is I'm actually playing a suspended second chord from E, which is a triad, and then I'm just playing C underneath with A flat. That's how my brain is making it easier to divide up this big chord, because it's a big chord. So it's like, how do you memorize all these notes? So I simplified to say, okay, I'm really just playing a suspended second chord with these 2 notes underneath. Okay, and then we pivot back to the tonic. So let's hear this with the music. Switch screens real fast. Boom. So here is the project. Again, it sounds so fire so already, and I'm already one song in. Let's turn this down a little bit so we can hear our piano. I guess it's probably as low as it can go. All right, so I'm gonna skip ahead just a little bit. And then we can insert that turnaround chord. So let's try it. Here's where we switch it up. We can also introduce what's called a minor 6th chord by flattening the 3rd and then double flattening the 7th of this major 9th chord. See how we can turn around? And this is the cool part about this 2 chord method And I'm sure B Sticks teaches this too, because he taught a lot of 2-chord methods before. But what I'm learning is that specifically Isaiah Falls, the reason I love it is because it's simple, but you could take it in so many directions that are creative. So for the beginners who are watching this video, you probably don't know what just happened, but let me just break it down music theory wise. Here's our first chord, D minor ninth. Here's our second chord. Now what we can do is create different endings for this chord to transition back to the beginning. So the first transition I tried was that fifth, which is an altered chord technically. So here's the tonic. Here's our second chord. And then I gotta play it faster. It's kind of hard to talk and look at the screen at the same time. First chord, second. And then we come back to the tonic. So that's the first ending. It gives you a certain vibe. It kind of pulls you away from the song and pulls you back in. Now let's do our minor sixth chord this time. It's just such a nostalgic twist, and we don't have to do much with our fingers to play this chord. That's why I love it. We're just taking this major third, pulling it down one, and then we're taking our seventh and then pulling it down 2 notes. Oh, sorry, my finger slipped. It just creates a nice, without needing to do too much. So let's play this a lot faster. All right, let's hear it with the song though, just so you guys can understand how this applies to real music. Okay, so let's run this back.
The window, take my time with the tempo. If you're done, we can sip slow and wait for the sun to come out, the moon to come down. The way that we talking got me feeling you now. Baby, your eyes tell me what this is about. And your lips gon' let me figure it out. This right here for lovers, baby.
All right, my bad, y'all. I had to get the garage. Okay. So what I love though is that we could just switch these chords up just whenever. Even if you mess up these chords, you can accidentally play a cool chord. Let me play a little bit slower. This time, let's go to that dominant chord. I played the wrong chord last time, but it still sounded decent. Man, this album is going to teach us so much about that dope R&B sound. But if you guys truly want to understand what I'm teaching you, is that you focus on the 2 chords. And in this case, it's a minor chord and then a major chord. Now from here, we can change and alter the ending. So it's 1, 2, and then the third part is the part you add to create the tension. And this is so I'll play a couple real slow. Or we could do, again, the second ending. And I'm sure there's more endings than this. I didn't really think through every single ending we could possibly add. But this is a exercise I do whenever I'm trying to stretch my music theory and my playing styles, is I say, how else can I end this chord progression? I could do a diminished chord. I could do a minor 7 flat 5 chord. I could do a minor 6 chord. I could do a dominant chord, an altered chord. I could do a substitution of that altered chord. We can get really deep with it. I'm not going to bore you guys to tears about that. But we can learn so much from this project. And shout out to Isaiah Falls. This project is crazy. I'm only on track 1, and I've heard the other song called Butterflies. We saw that video. So I want you guys to go listen to the album. This is music we should be studying. All right, guys, subscribe if you're new. Peace.